This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Friday, June the 5th, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that crop over stakeholders are calling on the government to give them the same relief afforded to tourism players when it comes to the payment of value-added tax or VAT. The appeal for the rate of VAT paid by promoters to be lowered to 7.5%, down from 17.5%, came during a robust meeting yesterday evening chaired by the Minister of Culture, Stephen Lashley, at his Haggett Hall St. Michael office. Under the VAT Amendment Bill 2013, companies registered as direct tourism services are levied the reduced rate of VAT as a means of assisting these businesses in offering their services not only at a reduced cost, but also in driving further business. Now, in a strong appeal for the same to be done for them, crop over stakeholders pointed out that the island's main cultural showpiece generated in excess of $100 million for the island in the space of about 3 months. Following last night's meeting, stakeholders said they received a sympathetic ear from Minister Lashley, who promised to take forward their concerns to the Minister of Finance, Chris Sinclair, who is in charge of the umbrella agency that collects the VAT. Earlier in the day, costume band designer and leader Betty West complained that her colleagues, whose costumes are expensive, are the ones making the money.
Lucky for these folks that are selling the costume extravagant, they are earning the money. They're making it because you hear this one sell out and the other one sell out. We that are having to market or to designing to support the culture to keep the meaning of crop over alive, we are the ones that are suffering. We're also suffering where sponsorship is concerned.
3 days after the central bank relaunched its savings bonds program, this issue of $10 million has sold out. And prominent economist Dr. Justin Robinson is suggesting that it might be an indication that Barbadians were waiting for a safe investment option. However, another leading economist, Ryan Strawn, has expressed concern. Strawn says that while it's a good thing for the government at this time, given its fiscal debt, he was more concerned about their ability to make good on those investments in 5 years' time.
Leave it in the bank. There's not much activity going on the stock exchange. Not a lot of new companies that you will want to risk investing a little, a little money with through some kind of venture capital. And so, unfortunately, at the moment, the 5.5 or whatever percentage it is actually looks quite decent for a 5 year. And the truth is, nobody expects the government to default, because it's backed by the consolidated fund. So there is no expectation that the government would default.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Deloy Worrell, said that since the launch of the series on Monday, the response from the public has been overwhelming. Dr. Worrell says 3 days after the new series went on the market, the bank was getting calls from different commercial banks requesting additional allotments. However, Barbadians who didn't have a chance to invest in the first tranche need not fear. That's because the institution will be reopening a new series of another $10 million on Monday. The Barbados government may soon be placing restrictions on the importation of certain food. This comes against the backdrop that the cost of treating non-communicable diseases was spiraling out of control. Minister of Health John Boyce yesterday warned that Barbados had now reached the stage where such restrictions may have to be imposed. Addressing a regional NCD forum, Boyce did not provide any details on the plan, but said one of the biggest issues facing the government was the quality of foods coming into the island.
There are some countries in the world who have already gone to the stage of indicating what quality of food will be imported into their countries, and what quality of food will be available on our supermarket shelves in this regard. This is a situation which is, I can easily term out of hand. I think most of you will agree in terms of our offering in our supermarkets, etc. And it is something which we must address.
The Minister of Health also announced plans to extend the current ban on smoking in public places to other areas.
About 2 years ago, of course, we introduced the no smoking ban in public places. And I do believe that no smoking ban may have to be relooked and probably tweaked a bit to extend it beyond just outside of a door, because I certainly am affected when a person uses the law to step outside and have a cigarette while I'm sitting inside the area. There's still vents that allow that tobacco to infiltrate the space, the public space. So I believe that may have to be looked at.
Chairman of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, Dr. Sir Trevor Hassel, meanwhile, said that the NCD Forum was also expected to review and agree on a statement of support from the private sector on chronic disease control and prevention in the Caribbean.
This statement of support will be used as a catalyst and a stimulus and possibly a driver of greater and more effective engagement of the private sector in the Caribbean in all aspects of the response to NCDs.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Farley Hill, Crane Beach, fried chicken at Pug's Bar. All parts of Barbadian life that some might know, but others don't. So join me, Katrina Marshall, as I go about town and across country, peeking into tucked away districts and liming with the people who bring them to life. About town and across country, coming soon to Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional front now, Guyana's opposition People's Progressive Party Civic, having already lost the recent general election, may now lose one of its members who contested the poll. Businessman Clinton Erlin says he is ready to quit the PPP Civic if former president and de facto party leader Barack Jagdeo remains at the helm.
Businessman Clinton Erlin, a candidate on the opposition People's Progressive Party list of candidates, appears to be on his way out of the party. He made it clear that he would not serve under the leadership of former President Barack Jagdeo. But the top brass of the PPP is fully supportive of the former president, who are then accused of calling the shots and said that no one had the guts to stand up to him. He said the PPP will be better off if Jagdeo takes a back seat.
I've already made it clear, if Mr. Jagdeo remains the de facto leader of the party, I would not be involved in I won't be involved in any decision or activities that the party plans. And that would include even if I'm offered a position to be a member of parliament.
On the international scene, Chinese hackers are suspected of carrying out a massive breach affecting the data of millions of U.S. government workers. The Office of Personnel Management, OPM, confirmed yesterday that almost 4 million current and past employees have been affected. Officials said the breach could potentially affect every federal agency. And on that note, we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Lime TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? #sexy.